When a ruthless oil magnate kidnaps a woman for revenge, he discovers that love can be the most dangerous game of all. The sun dipped low behind the skyscrapers of the city. A sleek black car pulled up to a luxurious hotel. Inside the car, Ethan Steele adjusted his cufflinks. He wore a tailored suit and a serious expression. He was a powerful oil magnate, known for his ruthless business deals. People feared him, and for good reason. He had no mercy in the boardroom, and his enemies had learned that the hard way. Across the street, Lily Carter stood in front of a small cafe. She watched the hotel, her heart racing. She felt out of place in her simple dress. She had come here for a meeting that could change everything. She was strong, but the stakes were high. Ethan was not just a businessman. He was a man with a dark reputation. She knew she needed to keep her guard up. Ethan stepped out of the car. He scanned the area, his eyes sharp. He spotted Lily and smirked. "There she is," he muttered to himself. He had been watching her for weeks. She was smart and bold, but she was also the daughter of a man who had crossed him. A plan formed in his mind. He would use her to get revenge. Lily felt a chill as Ethan approached. "You're late," she said, crossing her arms. Her voice held a challenge, but her heart raced. He towered over her, confidence radiating from him. "I won't be late for long," he replied, his smile cold. "Let's go." She hesitated, but he took her arm, leading her toward his car. As they drove, the city blurred past. Lily's thoughts raced. "Where are we going?" she asked, trying to sound brave. Ethan's gaze remained fixed on the road. "Somewhere you'll be safe," he said, his tone flat. "Safe from what?" she pressed. He turned to her, his expression unreadable. "Safe from me, for now." The air in the car felt heavy. Lily's pulse quickened. This was not just about revenge anymore. She could feel the tension between them. They were two opposing forces, but something lingered beneath the surface. Ethan glanced at her, and in that moment she saw a flicker of something else. "You think you can intimidate me?" she asked boldly. He smirked again. "You have no idea what I can do." He thought he was in control. He wasn't. Lily sat tensely in the car, watching the city pass by. Ethan's grip on the wheel was firm. "Where are we going?" she asked again, trying to keep her voice steady. He finally glanced at her. "To my place. We need to talk." "What about?" she pressed, her heart racing. "I thought this was just a meeting." Ethan chuckled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "You could say we have a contract now." The word hung in the air. "Contract?" Lily echoed, confused. "What kind of contract?" His smirk returned. "You'll see. Let's just say your father owes me, and I'm collecting." The air grew thick with tension. Lily's stomach dropped. "You want me to pay for my father's mistakes?" Ethan nodded, his expression serious. "Exactly. You're the leverage I need." They arrived at his penthouse, a sleek place high above the city. Ethan opened the door and gestured for her to enter. "Welcome to my world," he said. She stepped inside, scanning the luxurious surroundings. "This is insane," she muttered, feeling out of place. "What do you plan to do with me?" Ethan leaned against the wall, arms crossed. "You'll stay here until I settle things with your father. You'll help me get what I want." She frowned. "And what if I refuse?" He stepped closer, his voice low. "You won't, because you're smart, and deep down, you know this is the only way to save him." Lily felt trapped. "You think you can just take me hostage and expect me to help? It's not that simple." Ethan narrowed his eyes. "It's simple enough. You help me, or I make things difficult for your father." The stakes were rising, and so was her anger. "You're playing with fire, Ethan. You don't know who I am." He advanced, closing the distance between them. "But I want to find out," he said, a hint of challenge in his tone. Her heart pounded. She could see the struggle inside him, but he was still a man with a plan. "You think this is all a game?" she shot back. "You're wrong." He leaned in, his breath warm against her skin. "No, Lily. This is just the beginning." He thought he was in control. He wasn't. Lily crossed her arms, glaring at Ethan. "You think you can just keep me here? I won't help you. She stood her ground, defiance in her eyes. He watched her, amusement dancing on his lips. You're feisty, I like that. You're twisted, she shot back. This isn't a game, Ethan. He took a step closer, his voice low and steady. It's not a game, Lily. It's business, and I need you to understand that. She pushed back, refusing to back down. You think you can bully me into submission? He kept his voice low, careful with each word. Say it straight, he said. No games. A small silence cut the tension. Ethan smirked. I don't need to bully you. You'll come around, trust me. His confidence was infuriating. You know nothing about me, she replied. I won't give in so easily. He leaned against the wall, arms crossed. We'll see about that. She answered fast, then fell quiet. I'm not afraid, she replied. Not tonight. He chose the next words with care. Lily felt the tension thick in the air. What if I just refuse? What then? Ethan stepped closer, his gaze intense. Then I make things hard for your father. I won't hesitate. Her heart raced. He was serious. You're a monster, she whispered. He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. Maybe, he replied, a hint of challenge in his tone, but you're the one standing here with me. You could have walked away. She hesitated, feeling a strange pull toward him. Because I had no choice, she snapped. You forced me into this. She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact. Neither blinked. Ethan leaned in, their faces inches apart. I'm not the one who came here. You were drawn to this meeting. His breath was warm, sending a thrill through her. You think that's why I'm here? She asked, her voice softer. What if I'm just caught in your trap? His eyes held hers, intense and probing. Then let's see how well you navigate it. One move would change everything. Ethan stepped back, leaving a small distance between them. All right, let's set some ground rules, he said, his voice steady. Lily crossed her arms, still defiant. You think you can just lay down the law? She shot back. You're the one who kidnapped me. He raised an eyebrow. I prefer the term arranged a meeting, but fine, let's be clear. First rule, you stay here. No trying to escape. The doors are locked. Lily frowned. And if I try? Ethan's smirk returned. You don't want to find out. Let's keep it simple. She glanced around, weighing her options. What else? She asked, trying to keep her voice steady. Second, he said, his tone serious, you will help me communicate with your father. I need information he won't give up easily. Lily felt a knot in her stomach. And if I refuse? He stepped closer, his eyes piercing. Then your father suffers the consequences. He's in deep trouble already. She inhaled sharply. You think you can threaten me and I'll just comply? Ethan shook his head. I don't want to threaten you, but I will if needed. You're smarter than that. You know it's not just about you. Lily clenched her fists. You think I'll betray my father? Ethan leaned against the wall again, arms crossed. It's not betrayal if it's for his safety. You want him unscathed, right? Lily looked down, conflicted. And what do you get out of all this? She asked, trying to understand his endgame. Power, control, what every businessman wants. Last point, he said, voice firm. No personal touches, no discussing feelings. This is strictly business. Lily narrowed her eyes. You think you can put boundaries on me? He stepped back, a challenge in his gaze. I'm simply laying it out. Cross those lines and things will get messy. Her heart raced. She didn't like the sound of that. And what if I refuse your conditions altogether? Ethan held her gaze, unblinking. Then we both lose. One move would change everything. Ethan leaned back, studying Lily. The tension was electric. Let's go to dinner, he said casually. She raised an eyebrow. Dinner? With you? Seriously? He shrugged. It's just a meal, we need to keep up appearances. She shook her head, stubborn. You think I'll play along? Trust me, it's better than the alternative, he replied, his voice smooth. He stepped closer, his presence imposing. Show strength, Lily. It'll buy you time. She hesitated, feeling the weight of his words. You're really good at manipulation, aren't you? Ethan smiled. It's a skill. He offered her his arm like they were a couple. They stepped into the hotel's upscale dining area. The soft light bathed them both. Lily's heart raced. This is absurd, she whispered. Ethan leaned in, his voice low. Play your part. We can't draw attention. She straightened, adjusting her posture. Fine, but don't think I'll make it easy for you. He smirked. I wouldn't want it any other way. Ethan ordered a lavish meal without asking her. I hope you like seafood, he said, glancing at her. She rolled her eyes. I'm not here to enjoy fine dining. He leaned closer, his voice low. Then let's make it a negotiation. She stared at him, anger flaring. You're unbelievable. He chuckled softly. I know, but it'll make things interesting. As they ate, Ethan maintained the upper hand. He asked questions about her life, probing gently. What do you do when you're not saving your father? He asked, a glint in his eye. Lily clenched her jaw. That's none of your business. He leaned back, satisfied. It is now. You're a pawn in this game. She shot him a fierce look. I won't be a pawn for long. The meal ended, but the tension lingered. Let's take a walk, he suggested, motioning for her to follow. Reluctantly, she stood, her pulse quickening. They strolled through the hotel's grand lobby. You've put on this act of power, she said, keeping pace. Ethan shot her a sidelong glance. And what's your act? Defiance? He stopped, turning to face her. You can resist, but you're still here. She met his gaze, unyielding. And I'll find a way out. He stepped closer, the heat between them undeniable. Let's see if you can. He thought he was in control. He wasn't. The gala was bustling with energy. Glittering chandeliers hung from the ceiling, casting a warm glow over the crowd. Ethan and Lily arrived, the tension between them palpable. Stay close, he said, scanning the room. I can't have you wandering off. Lily rolled her eyes. Like I'd go anywhere with you. She felt the eyes of the guests on them as they walked in. Ethan held her hand firmly, leading her toward a table at the front. Just play the part, he whispered, glancing down at her. We have to look convincing. She forced a smile, aware of the cameras flashing around them. This is ridiculous, she muttered. Ethan leaned in, voice low. You know what's at stake. Just keep your head down. As they took their seats, a hush fell over the crowd. The host stepped up to the mic, announcing the evening's auction. Ethan's grip on her hand tightened. I need you to act like you're enjoying this, he said, his eyes focused on the stage. Don't give anything away. Lily nodded but felt her stomach twist. She could see other high-profile guests whispering, their eyes darting between her and Ethan. They'll know something's off, she whispered back. Ethan smirked. Let them wonder. It'll keep them guessing. The first item for auction was revealed, an exquisite piece of jewelry. The bidding started and Ethan leaned in closer, his breath warm against her ear. I want that necklace. It'll send a message. Lily glanced at him, surprised. You're not seriously considering... He cut her off. Trust me, it's important. Before she could protest, he raised his paddle high. Lily felt her heart race. What are you doing? She hissed. Ethan grinned at her surprise. Winning. The crowd erupted in cheers as he secured the necklace. He turned to her, a playful spark in his eyes. I told you I could pull this off. Just as she was about to respond, a man approached their table, his expression unreadable. Nice move, Ethan, but we all know why you're really here. Lily's breath caught in her throat. The unexpected gesture sent a chill down her spine. Ethan's demeanor shifted. He was no longer the playful man next to her. He was all business now. Mind your own, he replied sharply. The tension crackled in the air as the man smirked, stepping back. Lily's heart raced. One wrong move, and everything could implode. Could Ethan maintain control? The auction buzzed around them, but Ethan's gaze was focused. He finished the conversation with the man, then turned back to Lily. Ignore him, he said tightly. She watched him, trying to read his expression. There was something in his eyes that made her uneasy. You didn't like that guy, did you? She asked. Ethan shrugged, his smile fading. Just a rival. But his body language said otherwise. He shifted his weight, fingers tapping against the table. "You're not just here to win bids," she pressed. "What's really going on?" He hesitated, looking away. "It's nothing," he said, but the tension was heavy. He kept his voice low, careful with each word. "Say it straight," he said. "No games." A small silence cut the tension. "What happened?" Lily asked softly. She could see something was off. Ethan clenched his jaw, exhaling sharply. "My brother," he said finally. "He got caught up in this life. He thought he could handle it." He paused, swallowing hard. He didn't. She answered fast, then fell quiet. "I'm not afraid," she replied. "Not tonight." He chose the next words with care. Lily frowned, feeling the weight of his words. "I'm sorry," she said, the defiance melting away. What did he get into?" Ethan looked back at her, eyes dark. "Drugs. He thought he could control it, but he lost everything, including himself." He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. "So, this is revenge for him?" she asked. "Is that why you're doing this?" He nodded slowly, regret flashing across his face. "I thought I could take down the people who hurt him. But it's more complicated than I expected." He leaned back, staring at the crowd, lost in memories. "Sometimes I wonder if it's worth it." She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact. Neither blinked. Lily felt her heart soften. "You're not a monster, Ethan. You're just hurt." He glanced at her, surprise evident in his eyes. "It's easier to be the bad guy," he said quietly. "Then you don't have to feel." She reached out, touching his hand lightly. "But you're feeling now. You're not alone." Their eyes locked, the moment stretching between them, and the air thickened with unspoken connection. Could this be a turning point? The gala continued, but the air felt charged. Lily watched Ethan as he scanned the crowd. His expression had shifted from playful to serious in an instant. "You okay?" she asked, concern creeping in. He nodded, but didn't look at her. She wanted to know more, but the tension in the room was thickening like fog. Suddenly, shouting broke through the chatter. A group of men burst into the hall, pushing past guests. "Ethan!" one of them yelled, pointing. Lily's heart raced. "What's happening?" she whispered, eyes wide. Without answering, Ethan stood, stepping protectively in front of her. "Stay behind me," he ordered, his tone leaving no room for argument. The men approached, their faces hard and menacing. "You've been poking around where you shouldn't," the leader sneered, eyes locked on Ethan. "It's time to pay the price." Lily's pulse quickened. She could sense Ethan tense up, muscles coiling. "This isn't the place," he said firmly, trying to defuse the situation, but the men didn't back down. "We don't care about your fancy party," the leader shot back. "You think you can just walk away?" Ethan moved closer to Lily, shielding her with his body. "Leave, now!" His voice was steady, but there was an edge to it. The tension hung between them, thick as smoke as the men advanced. Lily felt panic rising. "Ethan, what are you doing?" she said, desperate. The leader sneered again. "You can't protect her forever." Before she could react, one of the men lunged at Ethan. Time slowed. Ethan dodged, swinging a punch that caught the attacker off guard. The crowd gasped, and chaos erupted. Lily's heart pounded in her chest. "Ethan!" she yelled, feeling a rush of fear for him. He fought with skill and focus, his movements precise, but more men closed in. Lily knew she couldn't stand back. She had to help him. "Get out of here!" Ethan shouted, but she refused to budge. As a second attacker lunged, she grabbed a nearby chair and swung it, hitting him square in the back. He stumbled, surprised. "What are you doing?" Ethan turned, a mix of pride and shock on his face. "I'm not leaving you," she yelled back. The fight intensified, but together they stood their ground. Lily felt a surge of adrenaline. Ethan glanced at her, a new respect in his eyes. "You're brave," he said, dodging another punch. I didn't expect that. She smiled, her heartbeat still racing. You protect me, I'll protect you. In that moment, their loyalty shifted. They were no longer just captor and captive. They were partners fighting together. Ethan finally nodded, determination in his gaze. Then let's finish this. But just as they turned to face their assailants, a piercing scream echoed through the hall. Someone new had arrived and it changed everything. But this was only the start. Lily and Ethan found a quiet corner of the gala after the chaos. The noise of the party faded, leaving only the soft sound of jazz music. She leaned against the wall, catching her breath. That was insane, she said, glancing at him. Ethan ran a hand through his hair, still on edge. Yeah, but we handled it. He looked at her, a hint of admiration in his eyes. I didn't expect you to jump in like that. She shrugged, trying to act nonchalant. I wasn't just going to stand there and watch. He kept his voice low, careful with each word. Say it straight, he said. No games. A small silence cut the tension. They both fell silent for a moment. Then Lily spoke again. You have a lot going on, don't you? He studied her for a beat. You have no idea. She shifted closer, feeling the tension between them. Try me. Ethan hesitated, then sighed. My brother, it still hurts. She answered fast, then fell quiet. I'm not afraid, she replied. Not tonight. He chose the next words with care. Her heart softened. I get it. I've lost people too. She paused, searching for the right words. It's tough, but it's not your fault. He looked at her, surprise etched on his face. You're different. She smiled slightly. You're not the monster everyone thinks you are. He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. Ethan's gaze dropped. I pretend a lot, you know. It's easier. She reached out, touching his arm lightly. But you don't have to. Not with me. He looked back at her, the air thick with unspoken feelings. She could see the cracks in his facade. I want to be real. But she stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. Just then, he moved a little closer. You make it hard to stay guarded. The chemistry between them crackled. She could feel her heart race, caught in the moment. Maybe that's a good thing. Their eyes met, holding for a moment longer. She leaned in slightly, her breath catching. Would he? Would she? The tension built. And then, just as it felt like something might happen, the moment slipped away as the crowd surged through the hall again. She was about to cross a line. Ethan and Lily stepped back into the gala, the noise and lights overwhelming. She felt the adrenaline still pumping in her veins from the earlier fight. That was too close, she said, trying to catch her breath. Ethan nodded, eyes scanning the crowd. We need to stay alert. They'll be looking for us. Lily glanced around, feeling uneasy. She noticed a group of men whispering, eyes darting in their direction. What are they planning? She asked, her voice low. Ethan's face hardened. Nothing good. We have to keep moving. Just then he pulled out his phone, scrolling quickly. I need to check something. He kept his voice low, careful with each word. Say it straight, he said. No games. A small silence cut the tension. What is it? She inquired, stepping closer to see his screen. Before he could respond, his expression changed. No way, he muttered, eyes narrowing. She felt a knot form in her stomach. What is it? She answered fast, then fell quiet. I'm not afraid, she replied, not tonight. He chose the next words with care. Ethan looked up, jaw tight. There's a document here. It's about my brother. He showed her the screen. It's a report on his case. There are details I never knew. Lily leaned in, heart racing. What does it say? He moved first, not giving anyone time to think. He checked the room and kept his back to the wall. She shook her head and took a step closer. As he read, his face darkened. It says he was set up. Someone planted evidence against him. Anger flashed in his eyes. They wanted him out of the way. The reality hit hard. Ethan, that means... He nodded, voice low. I was going after the wrong people. She stood her ground, eyes steady. She watched his hands, not his smile. They held eye contact. Neither blinked. Suddenly, a hand clapped down on Ethan's shoulder. A familiar face loomed behind him, grinning. "Thought you'd be here, Ethan. You've stirred things up." It was the same man from earlier, the one who had challenged him. Ethan's body tensed. "What do you want?" The man leaned in closer, voice dripping with mockery. "You're in deeper than you think. Maybe it's time you learn the truth." Lily sensed a trap closing in around them, but this was only the start. Ethan felt the weight of the man's words. "What truth?" he asked, teeth clenched. The man simply smiled. "You think you're the only one who cares about your brother? There's a lot more at play here." Ethan's grip on Lily tightened. "Back off," he said, warning in his voice. The man shrugged, stepping back. "Just think about it, Ethan. You don't know who your enemies are." With that, he turned and walked away, leaving tension hanging in the air. Lily turned to Ethan, concern etched on her face. What did he mean? He took a deep breath, frustration boiling under the surface. "I don't know, but I have to find out." She watched him, worried. "This could put you in danger." He shook his head. "I can handle it. I can't let this go." The anger and determination mixed, but she felt his struggle. "What about us?" she asked quietly. Ethan's expression hardened. "What do you mean?" She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "You're getting deeper into this world. It's not safe for me, Ethan." He looked away, the tension between them thick. "You can't decide that for me," he said. "I can take care of myself." She took a step back, hurt creeping in. "I'm not saying you can't, but I don't want to be dragged into your fight." Silence filled the space between them. Ethan's jaw tightened. "I didn't ask you to fight for me," he replied, his tone sharp. "I didn't ask for help." The words stung. She shot back. "Then what was all that before?" "You let me in." He rubbed the back of his neck, frustration spilling over. "I thought I could keep you safe. But now—" He paused, facing her. "Maybe it's best if you stay out of this." Lily felt a tear slip down her cheek. "So is this it? You're pushing me away?" He looked down, unable to meet her gaze. "I'm trying to protect you." She shook her head, anger and pain mixing. "You're just running away from your feelings." The tension snapped. "I can't do this, Lily," he said, voice low. "I won't let my life drag you down." She stepped back again, heart breaking. "You're choosing pride over us?" She searched his eyes for answers. His silence was deafening. "I need time," he finally said, stepping back. She felt the distance grow. "Ethan," but he turned away, cutting her off. Her heart raced and anger surged. "Fine, if that's how you want it," she shouted, the pain spilling over. He walked away without looking back. Just like that, they were apart, both feeling the weight of lost chances and unspoken words. The next hit was closer than they knew. Ethan stared out the window of his penthouse. The city lights flickered like stars, but they felt far away. He was lost in thought, replaying the night's events. Lily's words echoed in his mind. "You're choosing pride over us?" He couldn't shake off the weight of her disappointment. He needed to make things right. He grabbed his phone and called his right-hand man, Marco. "I need you to set up a meeting with the board," he said, voice urgent. "I'm stepping down." Marco paused. "What? Why?" Ethan leaned back, a mix of determination and fear coursing through him. "I can't lead this company anymore, not if it puts Lily in danger." "Are you sure?" Marco pressed. Ethan exhaled sharply. "Yes, I need to show her I'm serious about this. I won't let my power hurt her." He hung up, feeling a weight lift, but knowing the sacrifice ahead. He had built his empire with blood and sweat. Now he was ready to give it up. The next day, Ethan stood before the board members. They looked shocked as he announced his decision. "Effective immediately, I'm resigning as CEO," he said, fingers gripping the podium. Whispers filled the room. One of the board members, a man with graying hair, spoke up. "You can't be serious, Ethan. You've worked too hard for this." Ethan shook his head. "I've worked too hard to lose what matters most." After the meeting, Ethan felt a mix of relief and fear. He knew he'd face backlash, but it was a small price to pay for his peace of mind. He'd let go of his title, his wealth, all for Lily. He needed to prove that he could change. He walked out of the building, the weight of the world off his shoulders. Later that evening, he found Lily at a small coffee shop. She looked up, surprised. "What are you doing here?" she asked, cautious. Ethan took a deep breath. "I want to talk. I made some big changes." She raised an eyebrow. "What kind of changes?" He met her gaze, feeling the tension between them. "I stepped down from my company. I want a new start. With you." The words hung in the air, a challenge and a promise. Would she believe him? Ethan sat across from Lily, the coffee shop bustling around them. He could see the confusion in her eyes. "You stepped down, just like that?" she asked, leaning forward. Ethan nodded, feeling the weight of his decision. "I can't put you in danger. Not anymore." She crossed her arms, skepticism written all over her face. "And you think that solves everything?" "It's a start," he replied, urgency in his voice. "You deserve better than the chaos I brought into your life." She shook her head slowly. "Ethan, it's not just about that. You're giving up everything." He sighed, frustration bubbling beneath the surface. "I was drowning in it. I thought power would protect you and fix everything, but I see now. I was wrong." Lily looked down at her cup. "I don't want you to give up who you are. I want you to be free." He leaned closer. "I need to be free too. I can't let this world dictate my life anymore." She met his gaze, vulnerability in her eyes. "But what if I'm not enough? What if stepping down doesn't change things?" "You're more than enough," he insisted, his voice firm. "But it's not just about us. It's about trust. We have to confront it." She opened her mouth to speak, but paused, collecting her thoughts. "It's hard for me to trust. You've seen the worst in your world. I've seen it too." Ethan reached out, touching her hand. "We both have scars, but we can't let them define us." The air felt charged between them. "So what now?" she asked, breathless. He knew this was a crucial moment. "We build something new, together, but it has to be equal. I need you to promise me that too." Lily nodded slowly, her expression softening. "I want that. I really do." The tension began to dissolve, replaced by a flicker of hope. Ethan took a deep breath, feeling the weight lift. "Then let's take this leap. No more hiding." She smiled softly, the first real smile he'd seen in days. "I want to believe in us." Their hands intertwined. A pact formed in that small coffee shop. But even as they made plans for the future, a shadow loomed in the back of Ethan's mind. He could feel the storm brewing. Would they really be able to escape their pasts? Ethan and Lily stood outside the coffee shop, the evening air crisp. The city hummed with life around them, but all he could focus on was her. "Are we really doing this?" she asked, biting her lip. Ethan nodded, determination in his eyes. "We are. No more hiding." He reached for her hand and she took it, squeezing tightly. They walked together, slowly at first. "So, what's next?" Lily asked, her voice steady but curious. Ethan smiled. "First, we take a break from all this chaos. I want to travel, see places I've never been." She raised an eyebrow. "Like a vacation?" He chuckled. "Exactly, just you and me. No gangsters, no board meetings." She laughed, the sound warming his heart. Later that night, they sat on a park bench, the moon casting a soft glow over them. "I still can't believe you stepped down," she said, looking at him. "What if they come after you?" He shrugged. "Let them. I'm not running anymore." Lily smiled, admiration shining in her eyes. "That's brave, Ethan." He frowned slightly. "It's not bravery. It's about doing what's right." Lily leaned in closer. "What about your family, your brother?" Ethan sighed, remembering the weight of his past. "I'll fight for him, but not alone. I need you with me." She looked at him, her gaze piercing. "Together then, but we do it on our terms." He nodded, glad to see her resolve. "We will. No more secrets, okay?" She nodded back, agreement clear in her eyes. The next day, they began their new journey. Ethan left his penthouse for a smaller apartment, one that felt more like home. With each box they unpacked, they filled the space with laughter and memories. "This is way better than a fancy place," Lily said, arranging a framed photo of them on the shelf. Ethan grinned. "Definitely, this is us." Their lives shifted, becoming simpler, but the love between them grew deeper. As they settled into their new life, a thought lingered in Ethan's mind. "Do you think we can really leave the past behind?" he asked one evening. Lily looked at him, a soft smile on her lips. "We can try, and if it gets tough, we face it together." He blinked, reflecting on her words. Together. It felt like a promise. As they held hands, a sense of peace enveloped them, but in the shadows a new threat lurked, ready to test their resolve. What would it take to truly be free?